Yeah, so I'm coming to you guys a little late today. Been kind of a lazy day. I guess I'm still trying to catch up on sleep from the weekend. I don't really know. Anyway, yesterday was a pretty boring day. You'll probably find the same today, and I'm still getting used to not having anything in my hair. So for those of you that are like, oh, you have curly hair. Yeah, and that is combed. So, or picked out, I should say. So yeah, I have curly hair. I kind of brush and comb the top so it's not so bad. But the new shampoo and conditioner that I've been using from AccuLabs is obviously amazing. I can't wait to see the results from the growth serum. Good thing about acne is April's coming up, and what? I get paid double commissions in April. You can too if you get signed up with us before when they open signups back up. They're closed right now because they're redoing a lot of things and adding some stuff. And I just noticed, oh yeah, I need to clean that brow up just a tad bit more. But yeah, if you sign up in April too, you'll be eligible for double commissions. And I'm like this close to a promotion with Posh for the month. Oh my god, that would be so amazing to get that bonus. My downline is a little over $50 away from qualifying, and if she qualifies, and I can pull off about $400 in sales before in the next couple of days, I can advance. And guess what? I know that if I really apply myself, I can get this sales. Super excited. We have a ton of sales going on right now with Posh too, so what? Get with it. There's one for hydration. So if you have really dry skin, or if you have really problematic skin, our honey mask and the apricots overnight is on sale. And apricots overnight came out right after I first joined with Posh. It's actually an overnight hydrating mask. Some women use it during the day without washing it off. I wash it off the next morning, and I noticed when I was using it on a regular basis, my lines were going away. My bags are going away, especially even like the fatty pocket in this side from where I've been hit so much. As I explained in my other blog, I was a boxer when I was younger. But yeah, that's just a busted fat pocket, but it really tightened it down too. In here, you can tell I'm having some sinus issues right now, allergy issues, but that will all kind of go away. So I'm really excited about that. And here's the crazy thing. The school calls like early this morning because Aiden had a field trip over to the middle school and he's on crutches. And I guess they didn't want to take him on the field trip because of him being on crutches. And I'm like, why the hell does it matter? He's at school and he rode the bus, everything this morning on crutches. So, you know, it is what it is, but it's just, he's been in the middle school 100 times, so I expect him to kind of know what to expect going in there, where his sister is in band, where they're quite a bit. So yeah, she had her thing with the high school already, filling out for her high school papers, and I didn't realize how expensive, going to high school is, like, almost every single one of the classes has some kind of fee attached. And of course, being in marching band, that's $175. But I knew that would be on there because of everything that they have to have for marching band. But it's okay as long as I don't have to buy a whole lot else besides the $175, because that's just one class. If she does cosmetology, I think it's $45. Which I told her, I'm like, that gets your kit with your mannequin head and your shears and a bunch of other stuff that you'll need. You have to buy another kit when you're in cosmetology, like the nostril skull duty or whatever. So I don't even really know why she's taking cosmetology, because she says that she wants to go to school for forensic anthropology, but you know, I guess she wants a backup in case she finds that she enjoys it more. I'm not going to hate on her. She wants to, you know, do a trade like that. It's money, and I know people making really good money that went to school for that right now. People that, you know, I never would have imagined to be as good as they ended up being at it. Because they never really did hair. They never really did makeup or anything. And then all of a sudden they're like, I'm going to beauty school. And I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see this. Like, honestly. And then when I do, I'm like, holy shit, you're amazing. And then they utilize their talents and they've moved around and had companies fighting over them. So yeah, that is something that I would definitely support her doing, especially with as creative as she is. And I need you guys to help me. I want her to do, to show off some of her talents on here. I want to get her on here playing music, singing, but she won't do it because she's shy. So I need you guys to help me encourage her to drop the shyness and just do it. That she's good at what she does. So, you know, a lot of fun. Bye. So, today is Tuesday, and last Tuesday we were supposed to go meet one of Katie's little friends at the skate park, or not skate park, but the local skating rink, and there was something that happened and we were not able to go. So we are definitely going today. I'm on my way to get Aiden right now. He's not going to be able to skate, so I'm just going to hang out with him while we're there. He said he was fine with it, so it's whatever. I was just noticing, like, when I got in the car today, we've had this car now, I'm trying to think. We've had it at least since last October, or just this past October, so. So I've had it almost 6 months, and it still smells like a new car when I get in it. I'm like, that is amazing, and this is why I'm so glad that I quit smoking. I mean, even though like we didn't smoke in the car or the house or anything, where it would be on our clothes and in our hair, and then we would get in a vehicle, you know, it would just kind of drift with us. And I mean, like, to prove a point, I called because Aiden and Katie both have really bad asthma. So the last thing that they really need to be exposed to is cigarette smoke and the allergens from cigarettes, which actually can will stay in like your furniture and stuff up to like a week, I want to say. Maybe it could be 2 weeks. I can't remember. They told us and I forgot. But they don't really need to be exposed to that. Well, I got to noticing that, see, Aiden had the same bus driver that he's had since we moved over here, and Katie's got a different bus driver now that she's in the middle school. But they were getting off the bus smelling like cigarette smoke. And I'm like, what the fuck? Well, I was asking them, and they said it smells like that on their bus, and the woman doesn't drive for them anymore. I'm hoping that she got fired. She was actually knew someone in my family, and knew that I was related to this person. Now, some of you don't know that I do not get along with part of my family, and I have cut them out of my life as much as I possibly can. I mean, living where we live, like, everybody kind of lives around everybody, so yeah, they can drive by and be nosy, whatever, but as far as talking to them and telling them my business, I don't do that. But, you know, she pulled up to drop them off, back when they were both, no, Kaylin was in 6th grade maybe, and Aiden was in like 3rd grade or something. Anyway, she pulled up and there was some stuff going on there. I had a stint with my heart that went on for months and years before it finally evened itself out and quit bothering me. and she pulled, when Aiden got there was an ambulance there for me, and they had me loaded up, and he got in the ambulance and talked to me for a minute. And of course my mom knew what I was doing. My mom came by the house later to get the older one and to get the younger one too. And but the thing is like, I don't like everybody knowing my business. Like, it's just that plain and simple. And the first thing she did was called my cousin that she knew and started talking about it, who called her mom, who called my grandmother, which I love my granny to death. But anyway, yeah, but after that I had a real issue with her. But the kids got to noticing, like, well, I noticed one day when I went to go pick up Katie from the middle school one day, she was standing with another bus driver in between the buses on school property smoking, which I know that it is against policy to be smoking on school property. My husband came to pick Aiden up one day from the elementary school while the buses were pulled up, and there she sat with like 3 or 4 other bus drivers smoking on school property on the other side, away from where away from the building, but I know for a fact that they could be seen from the office window. And I said something to office workers inside, or I had my husband say something, and they said they would take care of it. Well, they didn't. So I contacted the transportation department because this had been an issue, and they started, and I know that she was, the way she drives that bus is insane. Like, I can hear her screaming at the kids when she would pull up to let them off, because there's a bus stop at our house. And like the way she takes off, and she's always on her phone driving that bus. And, you know, I finally got fed up, and they told me, they were like, well, anytime that you know of anything happening, call, because all the recording goes on a loop. And I know that, like, she had ran a friend of mine off the road a little further down where she goes to take Aiden's friend home. And I know it's her. It's the only bus that runs in the area. And, you know, Aiden was keeping up with seeing cigarette packs and seeing her smoke on school property and stuff like that. So I had to deal with cigarette smoke smell on him and her. And when I called the bus company, I found out that he didn't actually originally own that bus. It belonged to another bus line, which was the guy had a bus that was involved in a fatal accident a few years ago with elementary school students on it. And during the investigation, which the school bus driver passed too, but some of the kids did, during the investigation, they found out that he actually was not licensed to drive that bus. So our school system terminated his contract, and his buses were handed over to the 2 companies that they rent out the job, or that get the jobs. There's 2 busing companies that take these jobs. So he was like, you know, I don't know her, I didn't hire her. And yes, I'll definitely talk to her and take care of it. So that's how that went. So I was pretty happy with how he took care of it. But yeah, it's kind of frightening. And after that happened, and then I find out that it's the same guy that owns the buses that my kids ride, that hired the bus driver that drive my kids. I was very hesitant. So yeah, she got replaced. And we actually know the bus driver, or the guy that owns the buses now, so it's not good. But I'm gonna get off here because I am late to pick Aiden up, and he's on crutches, so I gotta help him get his stuff. Bye. My phone is dying, and I'm telling you right now, if you can't hear me or you can't make out the music, you're lucky. This is horrible. And I hope the last damn time that I see this skating rink, if it's before I die. I love to roller skate. I hate this fucking trashy ass place. Seriously. I brought my daughter out here to meet a friend. We were supposed to meet her last week. It didn't. We come here. They spoke at school. Everything was good. Now she's not here, nor can we get a hold of her. So if she doesn't show up, I'm pissed, because I'm sitting here with her little brother who can't skate. So he's sitting here hanging out with me while he's on crutches. And I brought her all the way out here, you know, and upset him because he can't skate so she can meet up with her friends friends we didn't get to last week, and then our friend doesn't show. That's pretty shitty. Remember, kids, if you make a promise or make plans, follow up on it, because you're not just like putting the kid in a bad spot, you're putting their parent and their siblings in bad spots. So this is gonna be like a super short vlog. I feel like I've kind of gypped you guys today. It was all like here, and then me complaining at the skating rink, and then now, I guess I should finish it off with a little talk. I was talking to my friend Jennifer, who I haven't gotten to see in a while. We used to be like the best of friends, and I would see her all the time. Time away from each other does not change the fact that we are still really good friends. It just means that we're busy. She took on 2 girls to help raise them. They're not hers, but she is their mother. She treats them better than their blood mother ever did. But, you know, and she's got 2 boys too. And so they're age ranging in that house from the age of like 3 or 4 to like 8, 9. One of the girls may be older. I don't know. And she was just asking me, she was like, can we please get together and stick Katie with the girls for a while, because they're back in, you know, this phase, and they need a girl to talk to show them, you know, not to hate themselves just because they're a little down because they miss their mom. And like, she totally gets that. And like, she knows that Katie can have issues sometimes because some of the girls at school, and like, we all have told her, like my friend Carla, who's a beautiful girl, even Katie knows she's beautiful, she thinks so, you know, has said on numerous occasions, like, she's gorgeous. Like, they don't just use the words pretty. They're like, she is a gorgeous girl, and she needs to see that she has so many physical aspects that people want, you know, or people pay money for. And I mean, I've got friends that tell her, you know, like, yeah, I paid money to have lips to look like yours, and they still don't look like hers. But, you know, and what it is, it's not so much the boys at the school, it seems to be the girls that say stuff to her. Like, I want to say it was her freshman year. And I don't know how much you guys have actually seen the kids on camera, but neither of my kids have ever been anywhere near overweight. In fact, we had a problem with both of them being underweight for a long time. And, like, they do a thing in the schools now, I guess, to check the BMI and stuff. And we can't opt out of that. We didn't know that at first. We do now. Because they don't do it one at a time. They do it in front of the class, which they should know, being teachers, that causes issues. So she weighed a little bit more than some of the other girls, but she's also, at that point, was like a head taller than pretty much every girl in her class. And she was like, of course I'm going to weigh more than you. You know, I'm this much taller than you. Like, numbers on the scales don't mean anything, you know, if you're not going to combine the height with it too. And I'm like, you're not fat. And I mean, I took him to the doctor, and I'm like, she thinks she's fat. And I told them why. And they like had a fit. And her pediatrician was like, you're on track to be built like a high fashioned runway model. Like, that's what you're going to look like when you get older. And I told her, like, I get eating healthy and taking care of yourself and working out. That's fine. But don't skip eating. Food is essential. You know, what we put in our body affects our hair, our skin, our growth. You know, certain foods help monitor our metabolism and, you know, keeps us from having problems with diabetes. And it does run in our family. And, you know, all these people are just like, she's so pretty. And it's just so sad that some of these girls, you know, are basically in a thing where they hate themselves so much. So they see other girls and they're just like, oh, well, we're going to take them down because, you know, it makes us feel better, whatever. And that's why I told Kitty, I was like, don't react to them, because what you're doing is giving them something in return. And that's what they want. They want a reaction. And kids, please remember that. If you have a kid at school that's bullying you, or harassing you, or says smart-ass things out of the blue to try to hurt your feelings, and you give them a reaction, you know, like being upset or arguing with them, or even getting to the point of wanting to fight for them, like, look, I get standing up for yourself. I really and truly do. If it gets to that point, do it, because I promise you, most of those that want to attack you physically because they don't expect a response. They expect for you to take it and then them to walk away feeling like a badass and looking like a badass in front of some of their stupid friends. And I only say that they're stupid because they're going along with it. Okay, I don't believe that any child is truly stupid. I believe that they make poor mistakes that are stupid in that sense. But as far as children, they're not stupid. They're learning. And sadly, some are not taught right from wrong at home. And then some have wonderful parents that have kids that act like complete angels at home and complete assholes at school. And I see that, you know, and somebody will probably say something about, you know, oh, how can you call a kid an asshole? Call him like I see it. I gotta take a call. Okay, so sorry, I had to take that. That was Kaylin's father. And I totally forget what I was going on about. I was talking to a friend who was looking for me to bring her over so she can talk to the two girls that she's taken in to raise, because they're kind of in that they hate themselves phase or stage because they miss their mom. They're really well behaved, but they need somebody that can kind of understand their feelings. And she's like, Katie would be perfect for them. And I'm like, yeah, she would. She's really good with younger ones. One thing I'm really proud of her about, like, even if they get on her nerves, she never lets them know. And she tries to help them to behave better and to make better choices in life, which I'm really proud that I've raised such wonderful kids. I was so terrified because everybody says you get paid back for the way that you are. I am so thankful that that was not the case with me. Yeah. Anyway, I have to get to bed. I have a new appointment with a new urologist tomorrow. And I'm really nervous because this likely means that I'm going to end up in surgery in April again to kind of see how far my IC has progressed. And that's a hard thing to deal with because I know it 2 years ago the doctor was dead set on doing what they call a bladder diversion. What that means is they remove my bladder and make me a small one out of my small intestines. And then they put a stoma next to my belly button where I would drain it off with a bag. Kind of hard to accept because, see, I'm 36 now, so I was 34 at the time. Maybe 35, pushing it. It's just really hard to accept that that's my fate at some point. Whether I like it or not, I'm gonna have to let them, because I'm getting to the point where it could be dangerous, because I see patients don't normally get this far in advance, but I've had it for years and none of the treatments have really worked. The at-home treatments don't work, like the bladder installations don't work. The hydroscope or whatever it's called, it does work, but only after I go through about a 2-week time of hell to get that going. Then I don't really have flare-ups for like 5 or 6 months, and they can only do them like every 6 months. Hydrodistension, that's what they're called. And I do have lacerations and ulcers in my bladder that I've had since I was originally officially diagnosed. I had a diagnosis about it right after I had my daughter, so 14 years ago, a little more. But I didn't get an official diagnosis until right after I had my son, so that's been 10 years ago. Official diagnosis means that they visibly go in and see the damage to the bladder. They fill it to full capacity, let it down, and see what the bladder does and how it reacts, and then they instill medication into your bladder. When I first had that done, I was pretty bad off already. They tried me on the only medication that's been made for interstitial cystitis. Takes, it only works in about 30% of patients, and I was not in the 30%, and it caused me to lose my hair. Not completely, but caused a lot of hair loss, and then and it takes about 6 months to work. It can. So it was pretty awful. So I've not really had much luck there. They want to give me all these opiates, and I'm like, can we just legalize marijuana for medical use at least? Because I know from back in, you know, my younger days, that would be a blessing in disguise for me at this moment. So for now, I try to cope with the most natural ways possible, using herbs and stuff like that. And it's just really hard. I carry lidocaine around with me a lot too, because what a lot of people don't know about IC patients is that our urine is actually toxic to our body in a way. Like when it touches our skin, it can cause a lot of irritation, and therefore not all the pain that we have is inside us, it's outside us as well. So I use lidocaine for that, and I'm at the point that when I have flare-ups, it's considered equivalent to stage 4 cancer. So that's what I deal with on a daily basis. I try not to get down about it, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a fantastic day. If you can think of anything that you want to see or something that you want me to hit on, let me know. I think I have a free night tomorrow night, which if I do, amazing, because I can do story time. Bye, guys.